Hello everyone, my name is Stephanie Searles and this is my week 3 multimedia presentation for MPA 545. The concept being discussed on page 77 in chapter 4 is about mediation and specifically the values, traits, or even characteristics of effective mediators. Landsberger in that section of the textbook, he talks about the characteristics needed by an effective mediator. These 5 characteristics that he specifically mentions, they include having an appropriate sense of humor, the ability to act unobtrusively in conflict, the ability to create the perception of being with disputing parties and being concerned about their well-being. He also talks about persistence and patience. And finally, he addresses the need to have specific knowledge about the subject area in which they are mediating. These characteristics make a lot of sense given the nature of work and situations that usually require mediation. Henry Landsberger was working at the Institute of Statistics at Oxford University at the time the report was being prepared. In short, the article was focused on identifying whether psychological tests were in fact capable of measuring desirable traits that mediators needed to have. The tests were to potentially identify good mediators based on whether the test results on their traits would be different from those who showed less of the listed traits. There was, of course, a disclaimer from the author that given the limited number of participants, the findings of the study had limitations in terms of generalizability. Another article that cited the Landsberger report is an article by Brookmeyer and Sistrunk. The article talks about the effects of perceived ability and impartiality of mediators and time pressure on negotiation. It's interesting here that the article also heavily cites Rubin and Brown, which is one of the most cited authors in our course textbook. There are 2 areas where the authors mention the Landsberger report, the first being intelligence as one of the traits of a successful mediator, and the second instance being that it's difficult to get an unbiased performance measure for actual mediators. The second citation is what caught my interest as it talks about the authors questioning the possibility of bias in mediation, especially when there are other confounding variables at play, such as the duration of the negotiation or the mediation process as a whole. And that concludes my week 3 multimedia presentation. Thank you and have a good day.